All right, good morning, good morning. Starting in just a minute. Getting things set up here. Morning, morning, welcome, welcome. Let me just get everything set up right. That trade was wild yesterday. Euro dollar long. I would have been happy with 98.90. Dollar index crashed, whatever, sort of. That was insane. Coffee ready. Wow, still going. All right. Man, I need some coffee. I just took a sort of a nap. It was like 10 minutes. It's 4 a.m. Yeah. Let's give it a second for people to get in here. I'll give it one more minute. Because then I end up doing analysis and nobody sees it. So I'll give it a minute. Good morning, good morning. Yesterday we witnessed, and maybe you took part in, reaccumulation into markup. That's what it was all about yesterday. And looking to buy off this level as planned. Actually, I bought sooner, but that happened, and then we went. That was very wild. And we were jokingly talking about, see if Mark shows up today, 110. We were like, yeah, 110, totally. Dollar index going to 110, yeah. Maybe not today. All right, maybe not. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. Yeah, soon. Yeah, it's going to 110. This was us yesterday, right? The shit's at 110. 109.85. The UK cabinet members were being chosen yesterday. I don't pay attention to anything I did. I had no idea. Thanks for telling me. And maybe they choose cabinet. Oh, okay. The administration's cabinet members. Gotcha. And maybe the markets liked that for the pound at least. I guess we had already projected where it was going before that, maybe. But that's a good reason. Sure, we'll take that. Cabinet members. Dollar index tanking. But no, it's true. Besides that, yesterday the pound was particularly strong. That was besides the U.S. dollar weakness. So, I mean, the pound dollar just multi-hundred pips. This thing is a lot. And then we keep going. So, yeah, pound strength and U.S. dollar weakness. But at a certain point, the U.S. dollar became so weak that everything moved up, As planned. It's nice when things go according to plan. Or even better. So continuing, I should probably start by talking about the phase we're in instead of getting to it later. We'll speak away coffee in, but I don't get too into it, too crazy with all the names. I don't do that with VSA either. Is this an up thrust or a sidebar? So we are continuing markup. Let's back out. It was markup, reaccumulation, continuing the markup. It was once we passed that level, what was it, 9850 or something? It was a good marker for going from reaccumulation into markup, whatever that was yesterday. 9870 or something. Of course, we just blew through that. And continued the markup. At this point, the trend is quite obvious once again. And you're going with that trend unless we see high volume weakness. So I'm looking to buy unless I see, overwhelming supply selling coming in on volume. And that's typically shown into higher prices, just the way this buying was shown into lower prices. So that's the only thing that would make it bearish and look to short is high volume showing weakness, just like we saw strength here. That's really a lot of volume. It doesn't necessarily have to be that much, but it has to be high volume. Otherwise, we stay with the obvious trend, right? That's very simple in reading volume. It may happen today, it may not, right? So the plan is to buy unless you see that. So marking up levels. This is quite a opening bar here. If I mark up levels, I might have to adjust it. Because basically I'm looking for the retracements again, right? Yesterday the plan was to buy here. And looking for strength on retracements. It's not likely to go in a straight line all day. 90% chance it's not gonna. What line is that? Okay, let's try that again. So, yeah, I'm like hesitating to draw this fib because it's moving right now. And as it goes up, I have to keep readjusting it. But so if it pulled back right now, we would have this area to look. We would have 618. And other areas may appear as well. But I like to start with the simple stuff with the fib. Previous resistance turn support. Yesterday, that was right off of the fib, right? That's this zone. Sorry, yeah, yesterday. We had this zone right here. So now we're here, right? Potentially looking for that buy. Again, if it goes higher, I have to adjust this until it actually starts the retracement. So that's where it is at the moment. All right, nothing too complicated, right? I think Mark usually shows up like an hour into the stream, right? We just got a high five because we were so sure that the U.S. dollar was going to tank. And it did. So we're just going to do this again. Once I have the really obvious stuff, in this case again, previous resistance turn support, fib for now is here unless it goes higher. It's nice when things overlap. Very good. If we pull back from this point or not, we'll see. The yen pairs, well, we'll get to that. They're a little sloppier in the background, but this was another opportunity to get long against the U.S. dollar. I don't know if it ended up showing strength after I got off, after the stream ended. But anyway. Again, similar stuff today. We'll see what other levels may appear and any other things. But this is what we're looking at the moment. So the US dollar trending down is creating this uptrend against it. Everything's trending up against it. And looking for strength to get in unless something changes. That's for my main method. Of course, scalps could be in either direction. Looking at the yen pairs, kind of avoided them because I want this crappy background to clean up. But we did go into new high ground on that stuff. There was some yen weakness along with that US dollar weakness. They tend to act similarly. How much did that move down? Not so much. Not so much. So the yen is a bit flat. So that makes the yen pairs much less bullish than the dollar pairs, right? What would be helpful on the yen pairs is to see some higher volume activity, whether it be strength into a down move, weakness into an up move, get some higher volume to really tell us what the yen is doing, because there's the yen index, right? It looks like July into August break time. What's going on here, right? As compared to the dollar, which is doing all that. And that's why I barely even looked at the yen pairs yesterday. Again, it's just kind of flat, and the yen is not driving anything right now. So it'd be nice to get a little more activity on that, and then a cleaner situation. Generally, if we're trending up, it's a similar analysis. But again, you have this going on behind you, the weak dollar. The yen is not doing it, but it'll wake up and tell us something sooner or later. What levels are we dealing with here? We got into new high ground, pound yen just now. We'll just keep an eye on the yen pairs. Good morning, welcome. We're going to be looking for the trades. We're going to be doing the live analysis. Answering questions if you have. I don't even know what I'm doing with this thing, with this ridiculous background. What pattern is that? Observe the yen pairs and see what they say. Dollar pairs are much more active and straightforward, bullish. So there's that. There's also the idea of applying, because we have these obvious levels against, similar to yesterday. Another thought is, where are the stop losses on long positions? And very often we'll go and get that before we continue up. That becomes quite obvious that below here, there must be a lot right here. So if you're long, chasing it, getting long, chasing it, and where are your stops, right? There's a whole bunch of stops here. So that's a possibility. I know it looks like, well, we're going to come down that far, but it's possible. If there's strength here and a setup here, then fine, I'll look to get in there. But that's another thing to point out. Don't be surprised if it comes quickly down here, right? Gets bought up. You see high volume rejection. The stop losses get hit. They sell off to the buyers, and then we continue. So if that happens, I'm ready for that too. It's not a reversal. I wouldn't be looking to sell that. So you have that stuff also. So that's my main method here. If you're learning it, my other videos show it, my course. Then we have scalps. which could be in either direction. Oh, 2 lines. So that's just to summarize where the best opportunities to buy are at the moment. That is the plan. If something changes, the chart will tell us. If it goes there and it doesn't set up right, the chart will tell us. And so on. Oh, I did it again. But yeah, you're looking at this saying, wow, that's really far to wait for a retracement, and you think it's really going to come down that low, right? Again, I'm just marking it because wherever it lands, because I know how it works, and there are a bunch of stop losses back here, just below that. So if we get there, we'll see. We'll see Eddie get kicked out of his longs that he just took today, 5 minutes ago. Pretty simple, right? Somebody in the Discord had some questions about small time frame. We can look at that. If you're here, let me know. For me at this point, to stream is keeping me focused on trading when I'm feeling lazy. That's literally where I am right now. I just don't really feel like doing it. I'm not complaining. I'm not like, oh, I gotta trade tonight. Yeah. I've been doing it a long time. So yeah, once I hit stream and I start going, yeah, I'm here. I'm looking at the charts. I'm not going to go start watching cat videos on YouTube or anything. Maybe we should watch cat videos on YouTube. Let's see. 5-minute chart, what we're dealing with today so far as any information. Man, that's a lot of red. I mess with these settings sometimes. It really doesn't even matter. They could all be the same color. It doesn't matter. Nothing special here. London Open is here. We just continued with this weak US dollar. We don't have any high volume weakness that stands out off of that high. We're staying bullish. Buying this high and this late is not typically something I'm looking to do. What did the London Open London hour trade do today? Let's see. That's terrible. Oh, that's just terrible. So the trade that I tested for 2 weeks, right, live, it gave a long entry right there. Nah. Right, because that's the high of the 3 to 4 o'clock, the first hour of London, and then there's the break, and it closed at the high. Volume is not too high on it. Yeah, that's not good. I'm not buying there. What do we got in here? 8 people. Yeah, all right. Welcome, 8 people. YouTube hates me. That's fine. I'm here with my 8 people. So ideally, we're coming down and looking for the reaccumulation once again, like yesterday. At least we look like we may be coming down here. Hopefully we get to these levels soon and see the setup. Small group making money. Eddie's group making excuses. That's a good one. Mark, 110, man. It happened already. Cha-ching. We were like, yeah, it's going to 110. Yeah, it's going to 110. It's totally going to 110. Maybe not today. Maybe not today. Yeah, soon. Yeah, it's going to 110. There you go. Cha-ching. Congratulations. Let's do it again. Poor Eddie sold yesterday. Yep. We saw all of it before it happened. Yeah, of course, that's not typically the speed of a move. It did what we expected, just didn't expect it to be so fast. That's a nice bonus. So again, yesterday was the reaccumulation back into markup. We're still in markup. We haven't seen any climactic weakness. And we're doing it again. We'll see if we come down and get reaccumulation. If the charts say something different, then we'll see it. Crypto? Is Bitcoin not at 19? Stocks, yeah. Where is it? It's at 20. Oh, God. No, I didn't buy it. No. Aussie dollar I did not buy. Just the euro dollar. Well, we're at 20. You consider that up? Well, from 19. Yeah, I guess so. Man, all the doom and gloom planned for October, and the markets are going up, and the U.S. dollar's coming down, and that's hilarious. Oh, we did all that. Okay, I didn't realize it. I completely stopped looking at crypto for now because I'm just holding. I'm not selling off until we get higher. But wow, okay. God, feels like it's been months since we had a day like this in cryptos. Maybe, unless you count that dip day. Wow. Are we getting out of here? We'll see. I don't even know what my plan is and how much. Well, I know how much I'm holding. But if we start trending up, I'll look to the left and look at weakness coming in to start selling off. It's not down here in the low 20s though. I'm holding higher than that before I start selling. There, we'll see if we can get out of this now. That would be nice. But that move yesterday was real. It's not the kind of thing that reverses the next day and we start downtrending all of a sudden, unless we see the climactic volume. But that goes for anything correlated yesterday, that move. That move yesterday is not something that just immediately turns around. That's a real deal move. Again, unless we see the high volume reversal. we're likely to keep doing whatever we did yesterday. Oh, yeah. It was all about the U.S. dollar. Yep. But, yeah, to put it in perspective, on a daily chart, we're still way up there. So there's a lot more to go if we're going in this direction. If we're coming down, there's a lot more to go. And if this happens over the next, couple of months, then, we should be seeing Bitcoin come up, hopefully, and stay in our direction for a little while. We will see. A lot of room down there to go. So again, we're still in the markup phase. Looking for down moves, reaccumulation like yesterday. If something changes, we'll see it. Probably going to chop up the top and then ultimately sell off again. You thinking? Okay, yeah. Technically, I could look for a scalp here off the 14 EMA, but I'm not buying this high. I'm just not doing it. There's an Eddie move, right? If I buy up here, well, as a scalp, we're talking about scalps, but yeah. I want to see the stop hunt. So again, we have our previous resistance turn support stuff. We have our fib stuff, but then we also have, if we go lower, a bunch of stops here. And they may want to pop it down and grab that. They may actually get away with doing that. Be another terrible day for Eddie, the losing trader. Hello, yes. Yeah, if we see profit taking on longs, we'll know it. We'll see that weakness, yeah. And I'll be looking to short. Oh, yeah. Yes. How we can use volume reaction on 1 in 5 minutes. Okay, so as I just laid out, like what we're looking for today, that's pretty simple. Where things get a little more, it takes time to learn and stuff, is reading volume, and particularly on smaller time frames. How much have you learned? Are you sort of new to using volume on a small time frame? So I kind of know where you're coming from. Did you learn like the trade guider stuff, master the markets? Maybe you know a little, maybe you know none. Who's Eddie? Eddie is just a term we use for the average losing trader and where he's getting in and where his stop losses are, and I stole that from somebody who uses Eddie for the average, Sorry if anyone's named Eddie. It's not a person. The average dope who doesn't know what he's doing, who has a bunch of stop losses here, and got to know who's on the wrong side. So we call him Eddie. Luckily, your name isn't Eddie. Okay. I have a good friend for 25 years named Eddie. I actually stole that from somebody who uses that name for that term, for that meaning. The herd, yes. The retail traders, the herd traders. Yeah, all that. Whatever you want to call them. They're late to the party, and then they get run over. Usually things like that. Where was I? Using Trade Guider. Okay. So, all right, good. Then I'll tell you right off the bat, what I'm doing with volume is very similar to that stuff. And there are some things that are exactly the same. Like, for example, if you're doing Trade Guider and you're learning that stuff, then you know this. For example, I like the 1 hour chart for my background, and I'm looking to go with the uptrend unless I see climactic weakness. Right? So okay, so you know that stuff. Please share some volume scalping trades so we could know how to master it. Okay, well, we can watch the small time frame and learn how to understand that. When I take trades on a small time frame, I am definitely including volume, but there's other things. So I'm not just saying, okay, volume says this, so I'm getting in the trade. Like, for example, my 14 EMA that I use for scalping, and just to give an example of right now, for example, I don't want to buy this high. That's an Eddie trade. Okay, putting that aside, this is what we're looking at. So, for example, I like the rejection of the 14 EMA in strong trends. I actually took a scalp yesterday on the pound dollar, that sort of thing. And so, for example, when I'm looking for that, I want to make sure that we don't have high volume weakness before the pullback. Among other things, I don't want to be buying into something bad, a weakness to the left up there or something. But the main thing on this pattern, for example, is that this doesn't stand out over the rest. And really, if it was on the lower side, it would even more so say that there's not weakness coming in, right? Just think of weakness and that you don't want to see that high volume weakness. So that's an example on a 5-minute chart. Then I'm looking to buy the rejection here, because usually off of that, which is just doing now, it's high probability that it's going to test this high, right, as a scalp with a stop here. And then also I could close half the trade, manage it, and whatever at that point based on what's happening. So that's an example there of a 5-minute chart saying we're not seeing weakness, and therefore I can look for this particular trade I used the 14 EMA for. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking to learn. Eric, yes. I'm curious when you would trade off a pullback to 14 EMA in the 5-minute chart versus like right now you're waiting for it to retrace 6.5, given it does look like a strong move up. Yep. It's actually not wrong. It's probably going to go right before our eyes. But I just don't like chasing moves this late. It's sort of a rare situation because we've moved up so much. And then we started the session with this up move. And scalping is one thing, and just saying a self-contained scalp says this is going to happen, and that's fine. But also considering that other stuff, I know that these are very weak positions to be buying here. I know that the stops are building up, and they're going to want to go after that. So I might have that working against me right now. The pound yesterday was different because we were still just coming out of reaccumulation. You know what I mean? So I'm also considering that. You're more interested to understand the volume and reading it reaction. That will be more easy for me. Understanding, exactly. See, it sounds like you say, you have the Trade Guider software. You have a bunch of arrows that are telling you a couple of paragraphs of information. This bar means this bar means that bar means that. This bar could be the opposite meaning of that bar. Now I'm confused. Which one is it? Right. Well, you have the diamonds. Maybe you have to be going in that direction. What does it all mean? Is this a no demand or a sideways up thrust shakeout? Reverse up thrust? What does it all mean? One thing, again, like I'm saying, is I've simplified it. And I didn't set out to change how to read volume from the way they shared it, because that definitely got me on the right track. Telling me that, weakness appears on up moves. Okay, how does that work? And then understanding supply and demand and understanding that. And back in like 2007, 2008, yes, same happens to me as you explained it. I know, I've been there. It's 2007 or 2008, around there is when I discovered trade guider stuff and volume and everything. So I'm all the way now from that, and I don't use the software, obviously. I did try it, but that was one of the main things. So I know what you're experiencing, which is master the markets. There's something there, but you get a little brain pain trying to really understand and put it all together into something straightforward. Brain pain and mush brain, whatever. High volume on an up move can mean smart money's involved. It's bullish. The next paragraph. High volume on an up move could mean it's bearish. Supply coming in. Oh, fuck. I thought I was understanding this. Do I know your story or what? So yeah, I took that stuff, and through hours and hours and years of screen time. Hey, you're laughing. There you go. Through hours of screen time and years of screen time, I've simplified it and on point. There you go. It's just, I'm here to catch the all the trade guider people when they move on. Come here. Depends on the reaction market as I met. Okay, well, yeah, reaction. Here's a simple principle. Okay, for example, if this was low volume here, I'd say this is a good long scalp. Now it's sort of medium volume, a bit on the high side, but just using the example that's in front of us. Now, the software may tell you that's no demand. Now, that doesn't make sense. Apply this. See, there goes the scalp. That's the first little target. You manage the trade. Think about this. Higher prices tell you about sellers. Lower prices tell you about buyers. This is the way I always explain it. Start with this. This never changes. It's very straightforward, and it's going to clean up a lot of the confusion you have. Higher prices tell you about sellers. The higher the activity, the more we're saying selling is coming in. If the reaction to that is down, you've confirmed weakness. Okay, so I didn't make that up. But there's no demand at high prices. That doesn't even make any sense. High prices are telling about sellers. And like I say, if you get out of the trading world and you get into real life supply and demand and why prices even fluctuate to begin with, and then apply that to a chart, it's much more straightforward, right? Like I always say, I went and found this dude lecturing years ago when I was learning this, and he was giving an example. And you can find this stuff on YouTube. Stay away from traders, stay away from charts, and just find somebody talking about supply and demand in the real world and how it affects prices. And this is when it all clicked for me, when he was giving the example of fishermen, and they go out and fish, and if they all catching the same fish and there's not many others and they're trying to sell their fish, right, when they come back and sell it to the restaurants, and there's too much supply of one fish, everybody's catching the same thing, right? The prices are going down. They're trying to unload. There's too much supply. Drive down the price, right? And so on. But what if one of those fishermen caught a rare fish? It's rare, right? There's lack of supply, right? And there may be demand for that, right? And so on. So it's like any other market. So the activity at the high and low prices and the reaction tells you about sellers and buyers. So that's not new information to you, but I wouldn't confuse that with saying, okay, if there's a lack of volume at a high price, that's showing no demand. No. Or if volume is high on an up move, that's saying smart money is very active buying. No. And in that case, they've typically pre-positioned to the left on strength. You don't need high volume to know they're involved. You already see that they bought. And once the supply is low, then you go into markup. That's not going to have high volume because you're dealing with low supply when they go from accumulation to markup, right? This all making sense? Maybe I went too fast, but I figure you got Trade Guide, you're learning this stuff. And that already might help you. But yeah, we'll watch more. Making sense. Okay, cool. Like I said, I didn't set out to change anything. It was just, okay, I'm a little confused. Let me observe, and then things became more black and white. I wanted black and white answers, no gray areas. It could mean this, it could mean that. I want to know what's going on, So that's what led me. Yeah, more live examples. We're here for a while. Yep. Good to have you. I was gonna say something, but I won't. Tell your. No, okay. You may have friends that are struggling as well. They can come by as well. Let's see. Hurricane restricts supply, prices spike. There you go. Any example you want to use of the real world we could use to talk about. Supply chain issues. Everybody knows this term now. Supply chain, right? At least in America, that's what we're talking about. But supply chain. We're having issues. The truckers, the ports, right? That's lacking supply. It's not able to get to the stores. It's not able to get to the customers. So the supply is lacking. The demand didn't change. People are still living their lives, but the supply came down. So the supply-demand balance, right? So now the prices go up. Inflation. That's one of the reasons. You also have just too many U.S. dollars in circulation, oversupply. And that's causing inflation. So everything's driven by that. And the principles are simple, yeah. A bit of weakness coming in on your dollar. We get the mushroom over. Yeah, the mushroom over. Let's see. Now, that to me, we're in such a strong up move that I would have to really get convinced to say, okay, we're seeing weakness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there was a bit of selling. And again, we're talking about, if you want to learn small time frame stuff, let's see the high price. Is there supply coming in? Is there high volume rejection? Nothing special. That does not mean no demand. If you're thinking low volume up here is no demand, it is not. We are in a raging uptrend. Demand is active, supply is inactive, and if something changes, it'll tell us. But that's just flat. Nothing exciting going on. Again, understand, right? Let's not just use terms. Understand. That supply coming in on high volume is going to represent the selling off of some of these long positions, and there are a lot of them. So strong trends like this, strong moves like this go out with a bang. There's a lot to unload. It could be on good news when everybody's buying, when Eddie's buying, and they say, okay, I'll sell off to you now that I can do that at a nice high price. I don't have to mark down price. I can get out. Thank you, herd. So that's where we are right now. If we see high volume into higher prices, that's representing the huge amount of longs that are in here, right? Starting to get out. So until I see that, I need to stay in this direction, right? And again, a reaccumulation. If you look at the Wyckoff stuff, I don't know if you've done that. And the Wyckoff phases very simply, and that's going to say, okay, we want reaccumulation. Because then, even though they're not selling off in high amounts here, it doesn't mean they're not going to load up more at a lower price and then continue. And that's what gives us our, 5-wave up sort of template to climactic volume, right? We have retracements. See, the questions get me going. And the caffeine, that doesn't hurt too. So there we got to see in real time. Yes, the scalp works. It gets you from this rejection to this top. Then you got to manage it. Sometimes it breaks through quickly. Sometimes it messes around. Sometimes it double tops and rejects. But it was just something that appeared on the chart as a high probability. And then it becomes a scalp because the really high probabilities that you're going to get from this point rejection back to the high quickly. They're usually wider and you get there pretty quick. Okay, that's a nice scalp. Then, who knows from there? Manage it. Stop at break even, close it, close half, whatever. So that's what I do. And strong trends can bounce off the 14 EMA, 8 times before anything different happens. It could just do it over and over and over again. Oh, what do you know? There, 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 there. And some people use slightly different moving averages, but that's the idea. 14 seems like there's something to it. It could overshoot a little bit, but when it touches it, you know that you're testing it. Also, talking about the volume VSA stuff, it's also a nice place to see lack of demand or lack of supply. So let's just say if we had high volume here and we said this was weakness, it's a very good piece of information to tell you about buyers. Why? Because look, price does this, right? Buy, right off the 14. Now, if you get weakness and then no demand here, and you start to come down off of that, what does that tell you, right? You're coming down. High volume supply, low volume demand, because you could see that the demand does pick up at this level. And that's why it's useful for that. Makes sense. Very good. And now you could say the other way around. If this was high volume rejection, this buyers are very aggressive, and you're going to keep going. But typically on the scalp, it's just kind of flat because really buyers are lower. Buyers are lower. This is just the waves of a trend, kind of. All right, good information today. Am I caught up on the chat? On higher time frame, technically weak on your dollar. If supply approves its supply, the associated rug pull out. Yeah, I would have to be really convinced to go short. We'll see, right? As the trailing stops in their longs, make them sell more into the market. Do I know about open interest and how it works? Nah, it's not something I pay attention to. So these are what stats that you get from what, a broker? Then you got like COT reports, COT reports and things. No, I don't pay attention to any of that. See, I kind of got to the point where once I learned how to read a chart, I took off all my BS and I cut all the BS and I just wanted to read a chart. And then I'm like, okay, I need my fib zone. I need my volume. Obviously, I didn't take that off. But I used to have pivots, which I don't use anymore. I don't do trend lines. These indicators are a trap. I'll tell you about it later. 40 EMA is obviously useful. 50 is similar. If we come down, it'll be a checkpoint for buying. See if they're interested. The chart tells you everything you need to know. Price and volume. That's it. Or can we have single currency along with volume any platform? Single currency? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean. The value is only determined relative to another currency. It has no actual value of itself. I'm not sure what you're asking. Usually the market's going to retest most of the time. Yeah. So likely still not done with this up move in the near future. I'm not chasing it this high up. There's the 14 EMA rejections. But certainly no weakness coming in that would make me want to go short. Basically, it's not communicating that the buyers are taking profit. That's going to happen at the higher prices 90% of the time. So they're holding, and we'll probably go higher. We'll see if they get out. Again, retracement, reaccumulation could be buy opportunities. I do have to redraw my fibs now, right? Because we made a higher high. I'm going to have to keep adjusting it until it stops moving up. So, whatever. There it is right now. And again, that's a good area to see reaccumulation very, very often. If you look at the 5-wave up pattern, 5-wave up ABC retracement, whether it's Elliott wave or the market phases, Wyckoff markup reaccumulation, three markups, that template. If you notice, those retracements are typically around 50%, 50 to 618. So like of this up move, you had this in the middle of this up move from this low to this high, right, yesterday. Very, very often occurs in that area. So I'm marking that up right away. That's the template. If they show up sooner, we'll see it. If they don't show up there, we'll see it and go lower, right? Oh, index, yeah. This one, Pepperstone, has a dollar index. I got a yen index showing what a difference. Very often they correlate. Not right now. Even got a euro index. I think if I'm not mistaken, the U.S. dollar is more heavily weighted towards the euro. I don't know the equation, the dollar index. But it's 9 times out of 10 going to be the opposite of the euro dollar chart, unless the euro is really doing its own thing. But yeah, you can always watch the indexes. Yep. Yesterday was like, as soon as this guy breaks down, it's all good. Everything's going to be moving up against it. So we'll see if higher prices show weakness or not. We'll see if we can maybe come down, see strength, get in long. But at this point, it'd be a very weak, late long. I do want to avoid, I'm not buying up here. It's just, it's the eddy trade. It's the herd trade. It's chasing. I don't like to chase. It's an unusually big up move. But we saw that little scalp play out. And it's behaving. See what it does next. Again, I am tired today, but I'm here. Let's do it. If I sound tired, yes, I am. It's 5 a.m. Oh, there you go, Mark. Yeah. 70% of the dollar index is driven by the U.S. dollar compared to the euro. Yeah. Pound only 15%. Wow. I wouldn't mind seeing an actual, evenly weighted index. I don't know if that exists. Against euro, pound, Australian dollar, and maybe Swiss franc or something. Yeah, that's almost redundant. Just flip your euro dollar chart upside down. You got your dollar index 90% of the time. It's kind of redundant, but we look at it. It's nice to see at a glance the difference right now, which is rare, between the U.S. dollar and the yen, which normally drive things and are normally more correlated, but not in this case with the flat yen and the downtrending U.S. dollar. They're not usually that different. It's good to see at a glance. Buying against the U.S. dollar and then buying against the yen is two completely different things right now. And it's just been sloppy. Started off the week with a very sloppy move, sloppy background. But the US dollar weakness is very straightforward, so been working off of that. So that's what we know so far today. Smart money is still long. They got higher prices and they're not taking profit. So likely the up move is not finished. They want to get out higher. If we come down, we can see reaccumulation and get in. If we move up and they get out, it'll be high volume weakness. Look to short. And generally, I'm not against buying if we're just not right at the high here. Any sort of down move could give that opportunity. Now I have to redraw my fibs again, so I'll just wait. Wait for the chart to stop moving up. So that's off. You had a bit of weakness there, a bit of selling. Again, small time frame, right? You want to understand that stuff. That's a very average, small, average size bar. It's really no bigger than the one surrounding it, right? But the volume is high. The reaction is also down. It closed off the high. The reaction is down. So there was some selling in here. It's nothing big. But it could be, okay, maybe at the higher prices, more selling, right? Then we start to see what's going on. It could be into higher prices that we don't see it. But that's not obviously something where I'd want to go short. It's not climactic. There's a huge amount of smart money is long and holding. I'm not going against that. But higher prices will tell us if they're getting out or not. So far, they're not. That's going to be a lot of volume when they do. Again, here, you see this hanging out at the high price after such a move. See, that's not no demand. That is not no demand. Look where we are. It's demand is running the world. Okay, no demand. It's no selling. It's no supply, if you want to call it something. I call it a healthy trend. Haven't seen weakness, it's going to go. But that one particularly saw a little volume up here. So again, pound, just to point out, that did show a bit of weakness, and now you get into higher prices. That will tell you again, maybe the volume will spike highest of the session and reject, right? And then we start to see. But typically these things are widespread, and you're going to see the price jumping around as we're getting that weakness. We're still pretty chill. I forgot to change my settings to block the spam bots, but we haven't had one yet. See, now that I mention it, the spam bots might show up. There you go. So it was such little activity here at a high price. Again, it's supply and demand. It's simple. It's not confusing. It shouldn't hurt your brain. If higher prices are not attracting sellers, not attracting activity, the volume's low. So right now it looks all rosy for the up move, and it's saying, oh, please buy me. I'm just going to keep going and going. And then suddenly it's going to change. Who knows when? So you don't want that weak, late position right here. And the scalp would have worked out. But I do try to remember the context that I'm in. Avoid the eddy trades. All right, good. We started off with some good education in the first hour, especially if you're new. And people who watch this in the future. What the hell is this guy doing? Well, there you go. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, really nice yesterday on the long trades, but it doesn't mean that the session didn't get slow and boring while we waited, and that's fine. Patience, patience. As I was saying at the time, there's nothing wrong with the bullish environment. It's just not doing it yet. So it's not all exciting every minute. Of course, trading is mostly waiting and managing risk. It's mostly waiting. So, yep, still not seeing weakness at higher prices. Still in this nice, clean markup. But who knows what selling lurks above. What's up there? Not much, but we have that. Not much. It could really get back to this high soon. When is that? That's back in September. And when you have areas of quick moves like that, it could reverse just as quick up. It's not going into chop. It's going into that. That could do that. But yeah, the place to buy was yesterday. I'm not buying now. Or maybe on a retracement today and so on. What's to our left here? Pound. Yeah, not much. Another quick move down there. So says the chart. We could rip right through. This thing may not be done at all. So says the chart. The average move, yeah, that's another story. Whatever. This isn't the average move. We could have another move today just like yesterday. I'm saying that because of what's to the left and the fact that we're just not seeing supply coming in this late and this high up, you know. But not likely to go in a straight line all day. So we'll see. Should have waited a week to buy your course for a better exchange rate. Great course, though. Really enjoyed it. Okay, good, good. Any questions, let me know. We'll do a second run through. Yes. Yes, that reminds me. Yes. People say that. It's a lot of information. Even though it's 13 hours, it's packed. And you certainly want to watch it multiple times. Yeah, because every single thing I say is like, okay, you need to know that, you know. If you kind of zoned out for 10 minutes, and you're like, I sort of understood that. Yeah, go back, watch it again 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Yeah, that course was made back in 2014, I believe. And yeah, I still do the same thing, as you can see. And then the Scalps, which has its own little course. But I'm not out here like, buy my course, because I just hate those people. Guys, don't forget to sign up and buy. What I always tell people is if you're interested in learning my stuff, you got the free YouTube videos. You got freaking 60 hours of, who knows, more than that, of YouTube videos to learn for free. And if you want it more organized, from beginning to end in an organized way, then there's the course. But yeah, watch the free YouTube videos. Start with that. And then if you want it more organized, there's the course. So just waiting for something to happen. Higher prices may or may not show weakness. So far they haven't. Still bullish. I don't want to buy this high and this late. It's an Eddie trade. Who's Eddie? Eddie's the herd. Stops are building up down here again. Sooner or later they're going to go for it. It's a weak position to be buying up here. And scalps are scalps. They have their built-in sort of probability, but yeah, in context, that's what's going on. Patience, patience. As a lot of people say, they also learn patience from me, which, as I say, I just want to take a good trade and not lose money, and that's why I'm patient. It's not something I really have to work at. I just don't like losing money. Therefore, I wait for good setups. It's not like I have to try to be patient. You know what I mean? You don't have to try to be patient when you cross the street. You wait. You wait until it's time. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen. There you go. Good analogy, right? So, we know where we are exactly in everything. We know where the smart money is. They bought low and nice yesterday along with us. We know where the Eddie traders are. They bought late, high up. If it starts to move down, they're going to be in the drawdown, especially if you bought today, London Open. We know that the big money is holding their long positions. If we move down from here, it's a really nice top that we'd still want to be buying, right? We don't have to deal with weakness came in on high volume, and now we're buying into that, right? That's not the case at all. So any sort of down move and strength, right, is a very basic, straightforward thing there. Do I recommend certain pairs of trades? Start off with, yeah, euro dollar, pound dollar, Australian US, and then those three versus the yen as well are a good home base because you're either being driven by the US dollar and the yen, which are very often similar and they're all correlated. It's not too much. That's mainly what I stick to. But to read the rest of your question, or is it just any chart with correct setup? There are times where I'll take a dollar CAD twice a year or something, dollar Swiss or something may show up now and then because the charts are dead, but Canada had news, so that gave a setup off a high volume or something, If it's really clean on another currency, another pair besides these six, if it's really clean, then yeah. But like I never trade like the euro pound. There's some these are here just to look at if I want to see how the euro's doing versus the pound without the dollar yen influence. So these are here just to watch. But there's nothing wrong with trading whatever. You don't want to lose focus though. It's kind of like I know what the dollar and the yen are doing and how they're driving things, and then in addition to that, to look at the euro, pound, Australian dollar and what they're doing. That's enough, and you get the picture. Worrying about the Swiss and Canada, whatever, but nothing wrong with it. And I was just going to say what you typed. Again, let me finish the question. I start answering before I finish reading. Oh, there's multiple questions in the question. I'm in London time. Okay, currently pound dollar, pound yen. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. I know some correlate a lot, so you don't want to trade at the same time. Exactly. So if we have a U.S. dollar driven move like now, we know the dollar is weak. Whatever looks best, and I'm mainly just looking at these three if I'm going to get long against the dollar. Whatever looks best. If they're similar and they're both setting up, I can split it up between two, right, whatever. But there's something to be said about clean setups. Okay, we know the dollar's weak. We know it's probably time to buy against it, right, if we're down here, whatever's happening. And then we say, okay, which is the best? Which is looking stronger? Which is the cleaner setup? They're likely to correlate. But yesterday we saw more strength on the euro versus the dollar than we saw on the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. So I went that, and I didn't touch the Australian dollar long because I didn't see the strength. And then again, I didn't even look at these guys, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, but of course there were short setups yesterday. How good the quality? Yeah, maybe, but it's all the same thing. Those are the cleanest markets anyway. When the US dollar and the yen are driving things, then it's clean. If the euro's driving itself up and then the pound dollar's driving itself and that's going down, that could switch in 20 minutes. If you notice, the correlated stuff lasts longer and is cleaner. The euro started out yesterday weak, and that flipped a few hours in. So yeah, it's an understanding of what's driving things, how the dollar and the yen are driving things, or are they driving themselves? And the better environment is when the dollar and the yen, US dollar yen, are driving things, and therefore you don't have to search everywhere for a setup against them. These guys I never touch. AN. Why do I even have this? New Zealand dollar. Man, I haven't traded that in years. Hello, sir. It's Deepak from India. Welcome. Sir, I only want to know how to... That's it. You only want to know one thing. Okay, that's it. I'll tell you. How to take proper entry in trading? Oh, that's it? Waiting for your reply and big appreciate. Okay, first thing I say is watch my YouTube videos. You know, I can't answer how I trade in 1 minute. You know what I mean? But yeah, watch the YouTube videos where we're using volume, supply, demand, Wyckoff phases, and fib zones, 50 to 618, support resistance. Nothing crazy, but volume is key. If you're learning how to trade, I would suggest learn volume. It is probably the missing piece to understanding what the heck's going on. As far as proper entry in trading, well, that's a whole 10-hour explanation if you really want to understand. But no, watch the YouTube videos. They're free and very informative on how I trade. You could even just look at yesterday. I know they're long, but there it is. Doing it live. Okay, understood. Thank you. Very welcome. I'll add Aussie dollar in case of cleaner setups. Yeah. There have been plenty of times where the euro and the pound are a bit sloppy, maybe even for the whole week. This has happened in the past. This probably, you can find it on some YouTube videos, me talking about it. But the Australian dollar says, here I am, I'm so clean, trade me. And I end up sitting here on AU and AJ because everything else is a mess. And getting good trades on AU and AJ for a week, week and a half, while I ignore the rest. That's very rare, but you get the point. It's a very nice, friendly, it's like Australians, right? Very nice, friendly currency, the Australian dollar. And I swear it spends the first few hours of London session trending up more times than not for some reason. I don't buy it, but it is a very nice, friendly currency, the Australian dollar. And sometimes it'll just be cleaner than the rest, and I end up focusing on it, yeah. Rare, but it happens, certainly. So we have a whole mix of people in here. We have people that learn from my course, people that learn Trade Guider and Master the Markets. Little mush brain. We'll get in there, do some surgery. Maybe some newbies. How do we enter? Okay, so thank you very much for your reply. You're very welcome. So indicators are necessary for trading. No, they are not. And that's exactly why I have them on my chart, so I can have you ask me and me tell you not to use them. If indicators worked, then everybody would be using it and everybody would be rich because they're so simple. Gotcha. With that criteria nice and friendly, CAD should be the best pair to trade. Okay, there you go. I don't know, maybe it's just the accent. I feel like if somebody was mad and yelling at me with an Australian accent, like I wouldn't even take them seriously. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, you're funny. It just sounds too friendly, I don't know. Okay, so what do you think about Crypto Face, who is selling a market chipper indicator? Selling an indicator. I have no idea what that indicator is. 95% of indicators are based on taking price movement and averaging it out over time. You know what these are down here? A MACD and an RSI. I messed with it. It's a trap. Oscillators. Indicators are just dumb. They're too dumb. Maybe in 20 years, you'll be sitting at home with this really, really smart thing that's going to help you. But coding for MT4 is not anywhere near what you really need to work off of if you wanted automated trading or indicators. There's a real world going on out there. Nobody cares about your oscillator. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I don't even pay attention to that. The moving average on the volume, yeah. Once again, something I ignore. I could get rid of it. I could leave it. But there's the settings. This stuff is really whatever. When it comes to volume indicators, I just want the volume. This is all red because it's high volume into up move, whatever. I'm not trading off of these colors. Or the moving average. Give me a straight regular volume indicator, that's fine. And then you have like better volume and all this crap. Like I'm sure people go through these things, right? And you look for some sort of volume indicator. And you have better volume or Hawkeye volume or whatever the hell. I don't know. It's crap. So yeah, for the newer people, now the ones that know, yes. For the newer people, or maybe you're not too new to trading, but you're new to seeing what I'm doing. There's, you have to know what the heck's going on. What is going on in the market? No indicator is going to tell you that. No indicator is going to say smart money is long from yesterday and they've been marking up. They're still holding on to their positions. They haven't gotten out yet. What indicator tells you that, first of all? We don't know if this trend is about to change from an indicator. Indicators are all up right now, right? I don't know. Overbought, maybe? That's a made-up term. There's no such thing. They've probably been overbought for frickin' 16 hours already, you know? There's no such thing as overbought, oversold. It's made up. It can do whatever it wants. But knowing what the heck's going on, right? If you want a shortcut to trading, just learn what's going on. Not a fancy indicator. That is my opinion. I'm looking at charts since 2003, and that's my conclusion. So, smart money is long. They are holding. If it comes down, we're looking for buy opportunities. I did not want to chase up here and buy. But also, we have not seen profit taking, supply coming in. All these long positions getting out on high volume. Nope. So if we come down, it's nice to have that and say, okay, we're buying along with them on a reaccumulation. We're not buying into an area that they're selling off or anything like that. And they're not in that phase right now. Now, what indicator tells you that simple piece of information? Trade Guider? They'll tell you that and 4 other things. I don't know. No supply. I love Trade Guider, Gavin. Thank you very much for getting me on the right track. Changed my life. Okay, can I talk poop now? Is he back? So what? I got a big mouth sometimes. What your best advice for today, trades who are new, and how can we understand what smart money is doing? Okay. Very simple. We're trending up, right? Why is that? It's because the US dollar is tanking. So it's all relative. Everything's moving up against a weak US dollar. Yesterday we were talking about the buy situation here because that's reaccumulation. But the point is, right now, to understand what's going on, right? They're in their long positions. And to your question says exactly, understand what smart money is doing. Okay. First, that was the past. Let's go to now. This is buying. They're buying in such a way to mark up price intentionally. They do this when the supply is low and they've loaded up on long positions. And that was yesterday. So they're buying in such a way to mark up price. It's cheap because the supply is gone. That's a background situation, but that's the summary. They're still in these positions because if they got out, it would create high volume and it would typically happen into high prices. So what does that mean? They're holding on to their long positions. So what is smart money doing? Well, understand what they're doing. They're holding on to their long positions. When they get out, we'll see it. Can't hide the volume. if price pulls back, they may be buying again and we'll see strength. And then we know we're in a good environment to be doing that. And then we may do another leg up and maybe see the selling there, right? So there's a simple understanding, right? So simple. Indicators don't tell you that. You could have 20 indicators on your chart. They won't tell you that. Today's profit taking day, get out, longs covering. Maybe. Maybe, Mark. We could hang around at high prices for a while, come down New York, I'm just being hypothetical, see accumulation go on and just sort of sit around and the day ends. And then tomorrow we mark up. Who knows? It's all in the context of factual information now, though. There's only so many outcomes. Either they get out, or they don't, or they reaccumulate, or they don't, and we can follow what they're doing and not doing. Good discussions today. See, the questions get me going. It's a good educational stream. Welcome to this very special educational webinar. Which software are you using for technical analysis? This is tradingview.com. I really like MT4, but then I like also being able to look at other markets here. I guess I just moved on to TradingView. And you could get the free version. You just got to do with pop-ups. I know stops for longs building lower now. Yep. Which fits in with the reaccumulation. We're going to go after the stops most likely as the next move. But yeah, that's the factual information up to this point in time. We'll see what's next. The indicator stuff, though, yeah, I can't say enough to try to talk people out of it. Why do I do all this thinking if I could just use an indicator? You know? All this effort when I can just wait for a buy, sell, ding, ding, ding. Or say, well, that's green, that's green, I guess I'll buy. It was red here. Good thing I didn't sell. But what hooks people with indicators is when a move is taking place, or like this up move here, oh, it's green, great. We'll buy with these two green things down here. Of course, that's going to be every time it moves up a strong move, you're going to have green. You're also going to have lots of green show up, and then it goes down, and it turns red, and now you're green. Now you got long. That's what you get with indicators. Yeah, it looks great until you get into it. So yeah, don't waste your time. I mean, is there anybody live streaming, making money using an indicator method? And explaining what the heck is really going on with an indicator? Nah. Poor Eddie finally getting bullish. Late to the party, exactly. That's why I didn't take the scalp up here. It's like on principle. I'm not trading with Eddie. I'll miss the scalp because if it doesn't work out, I'll be like, man, we only got our stops in the same place now. But it's a scalp stop. But yeah, exactly. Can volume and price action okay for swing trade? Yes. In Forex, in spot Forex, I don't like the high time frames. If you notice, I'm not looking at a daily chart, 4-hour chart here in this market. I like day trading it and using the 1 hour for background. That's it. But yeah, everything else was open for swing trading. I swing trade cryptos and gold, silver, oil, so on. And I do not go below the 1 hour chart, 4-hour chart. Yep. Daily chart, whatever. Yeah. I don't even concern myself with a small time frame on swing trading. Yeah. So absolutely. And that's good for people who don't have the time, to sit and day trade. But if you're learning this stuff, yeah. If you want to trade, swing trade, gold, then you bring up a 4-hour chart, daily chart, look at your recent high volume points. They're going to stand out and be obvious. And you're going to say, okay, what does that mean? Smart money did something. What is it? Did they buy? Did they sell? Are they getting in? Are they getting out? Now you've identified your background, right? And so on. And especially in swing trading, you're really trying to buy low and sell high, and you got to be patient. I'm waiting to buy oil. It's not low enough. It's lower than everybody expected if you watch the news, but it's not low enough apparently. I'm waiting for strength to come in. The joke is right after the election, which is in 2 weeks? U.S. election. Lots of YouTubers didn't tell us about this smart money, right? They tell us about use MACD, indicator, RSI, blah, blah, blah. It means nobody share their secrets, right? What do you think about it? I think those people are probably not making consistent money. They'll be lucky if they're flat, break even. Keeping it a secret. It's not so much keeping it a secret as just there's just no reason to go talk about it. It's just what they do. I don't think, it's rare. I just like streaming and trading this way. Sometimes I do it like this and I end up sharing it. But what do they have to gain? Is it a secret? Well, yeah, it's helpful for people to not know how to trade so they can take their money. Yeah. Understanding simple, higher high, lower high, and lower high is a must for swing trading. Yep, I am. Absolutely look at structure, and you can have an instance where you have absolutely a downtrend. It stops on high volume, therefore now you see strength, and then off of that you made a higher high, higher low. Okay, we're in markup, we're in reaccumulation. Yes. It depends how you want to enter trades and exit trades. But structure generally is helpful, yes. Simple and straightforward stuff, yeah. I like double bottom, double top as far as like we have here, like a failed move up. So the higher high is just a quick rejection. Now, if there was weakness on that, that's a nice situation to go short, but there isn't. And that's seeing that structure fail on the next leg up along with high volume weakness. Yeah. Double top, double bottom, fake breaks seem better probability than just being in a higher high, higher low structure, seeing weakness and just getting short. Yeah. Once you fail on high volume, not in this case, you see the structure failing as well. Yeah. What age did I start trading? I'm 46 and I opened my first account in 2003. and I blew it. And then I funded it again, and I blew it. Then I gave up. And then I left a demo running, and it was up thousands of dollars. And I'm like, maybe I should take another look at this. And the rest is history. And it was years until there was any help available online. So it was a long road. So I don't know, do the math. I was in my late 20s or something. I'm too tired to think. So if we come down, we're looking for strength. Smart money's long. They're holding. I'm not buying high and chasing it, so we'll see when opportunities show up. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Be right back. All right, almost back. 1 second. All right. Where are we? Coming down is good. We're looking for strength. Looking to get in long. Chat. Can you please take a look at today? How did you learn trading when you start? I answered that right. Okay. Can you please look at Bitcoin? What's your viewpoint for now? Yeah, I'm swing trading Bitcoin, right? Holding long. And, it's been sitting in that 1920 area for so long. I bought up what I was willing to buy in that area according to my plan, planning for anything. If it goes lower, I buy. It goes higher, I sell it. So it's usually more interesting than this. It's been a while since we went through a phase like this of just sitting in a price range for so long. So, but again, from a swing trading point of view, I'm looking to sell high and buy low, and we're just kind of somewhere in the middle and sitting there. I'll buy lower, I'll sell higher. If we can get above 30, 35, then I'll think about selling something, starting to in small amounts, whatever the chart says. Weakness and things. But for now, we're jokingly say, but it's kind of serious because we know that this is how things work. We've seen it a million times. Just look at 2020. If you're sitting down here this long in this 1920 area, and generally for cryptos with correlation, before you go up, you may go down first. The spring, whatever you want to call it. And you get everybody panic selling, and smart money can buy it up. So to summarize that, if we move down, I'll be looking for the high volume buying. It could be at 15, 14, right? Everybody's freaking out. 11, it's the end of the world, Bitcoin's crashing, right? If I see high volume strength, then I know I'm buying. And I have a certain percentage of my account that I can buy in that area, a maximum, and seeing how good it looks, right? So I'm swing trading. I don't know if you're doing that. If it moves down and I don't see buyers, I don't see demand, then I wait and do nothing. And again, if it moves up, I'll be looking to sell off, but not in the 20s because I'm swing trading. I'm looking for higher prices. If we pop up to 25 and then we see huge volume weakness, that might scare me. I might want to do a little something, sell some off that I bought in the 19 area, But aside from that, I'm swing trading it and I'm looking to hold it for higher prices. So that's how I deal with it. I don't know if that's helpful. I mean, day trading now is like, I have day traded it, but it's so boring. It's not, I mean, if you want to keep buying at 19 and selling off at 20, I guess that would have worked for the last couple of months. It's so boring. So that was not even me bringing up the chart because, it is what it is. Sir, when read volume is high on demand area, I always confuse what means smart money is buying, ? Please answer this because I have trapped lots of time. Okay, so so it's confusing for you that high volume means demand? Like, why does high volume mean demand? Or what may even be part of the confusion is when you first learn it, it sounds backwards. That lower prices tell you about buyers. Lower prices reveal buyers. And you think to yourself, how? If price is moving down, right? Everyone has that first thought when the first time they hear about that. Yeah, okay. So remembering the fact that, this is the best way to explain it. Supply and demand. Forget trading, right? This is the best way to understand it. Some of you have heard this example probably a million times. Something goes on sale, right? Milk. How much is milk per gallon? I have no idea. Let's say it's $5. So they they lower the price of milk to $4. There's a sale today, right? But the activity in the store, the volume, transactions, buy, sell volume activity, does not increase. You just lowered the milk price from $5 to $4, and the store did not get any more activity. Maybe we should lower it to $3.50. No? Okay, it's still kind of quiet. Maybe we lower it to $3. All of a sudden, when it's at $3.10, whatever, demand shows up. Activity. You sell twice as much milk that day, right? Now you found buyers at a low price on high volume. And what would you do after that? Would you continue to lower the price? No. In fact, that overwhelming demand might make it tick up a little bit. Actually, we're low on milk, so if you really want it, you got to pay $4. All right. lack of supply. Well, the milk guy didn't show up for 3 days. We have 2 milks left, and 10 people want to buy it. We can sell this milk for $7. Supply-demand balance. Does that help? Remember the activity, right? The price change followed by activity. So that should make it start to make sense. Volume spikes on news. And news traders. I'm not one of those. So when it comes to news volume, I'm looking at the reaction to the news move, not the initial move. Same old thing. I'm going to end up repeating. So let's say you have good news today. Everyone starts buying. News traders buy. Smart money's been in hundreds of pips ago or whatever, right? They bought yesterday. They could sell to them in large amounts. We have to unload. Look at all these dumb buyers up here. I can sell to this. I can sell to them. So that's an example of the news move could be up, but I'm looking at the reaction. Maybe it doesn't hit sellers. So I'm looking at the reaction to the news move, the new prices that come in, not the initial move, and not if the news is good or bad. All this making sense? Any confusing? I am explaining this on very little sleep, but I can trade and talk about trading in any condition. I'm drunk at a bar. Are you guys know about supply and demand? No, man. We're tired of you talking about it. Actually, I don't talk about it because I know people don't. For example, when there's high green candle at supply zone, and after second candle volume is low, but still price goes down, means more money is selling, question mark. Okay. So if you have high prices on high volume and the reaction is lower prices, that's technically confirming the weakness. So now you have weakness in your background or weakness at the moment, considering where you are in the background, and you follow the story there. But if you have a supply area, let's say this was some area of supply, and then we come up high volume, then we come down as a result. The result coming down is what confirms it technically as weakness. I didn't make that up. That's just what it is. And just the opposite demand, right? Yep. And especially in currencies, it's very straightforward where you can flip things around and it's exactly the same. It could be the dollar Swiss doing the exact opposite of the euro dollar. And yeah, they all work in reverse. There's really nothing different. One guy's markup is another guy's panic selling. It's all relative. Other markets may be a little different. But still, yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, you can apply that. Second nature when you can explain it drunk. I really could. I could be drunk off my ass and explain supply and demand to somebody. Let's try it. No. I don't really drink that much. But yeah, it's what I do. This and music, even when it's what you do for years, of course you can explain it. Anytime, anywhere. But good. Again, we're almost at 2 hours worth of good information. If people are new, learning stuff, I'll tell them, go to this live stream and watch the first 2 hours. Meanwhile, price is just sitting here. There's nothing to do. So that's good. Then we got, they did something. But yep, coming down, looking for strength to buy. We know smart money is holding their longs. They had plenty of opportunity to get out. They didn't do it. That tells you likely the move is not over. But usually in these cases, when you're late and high in the move, more times than not, you're going to come down, hunt some stops, right? Grab some more for the next leg up. Otherwise, you're in a very weak position buying up here, especially this late in the move, like I say. Now, if it wants to go, it can just go. That's fine. There could be a scalp entry, which we saw one. I passed on it, but I pointed out in real time. What was it? This? Whatever it was. Big time frame is for analysis and small for entry. Well, same thing. Yeah, it's the same analysis on a big and small time frame for me. 1 hour, 5 minute. Basically, those two tell you everything. It's the same way of understanding. It's just one is the higher time frame is telling you your background, right? Where is this stuff money positioned from? Are they getting in? Are they getting out? And then the small time frame, right? It's the same chart reading stuff. It's just in the context of that, right? So in the context of this markup and everything going on now, right, I'd be looking for demand to come in to tell me it's reaccumulation in the bigger context of it being a markup. But it's really fractal, because then you can get down to the 1 minute, right? And you get like another layer. So it's the same patterns within patterns. But yeah, higher time frame for background, smaller time frame for what's going on in detail now in the context of the background. Man, you guys got me talking, and I'm so tired. Packed with good education, I would say. I would think. I took like a 10-minute nap before. That didn't help at all. Right now in euro, smart money still holding. Well, not checking euro versus everything, but against the dollar, which is what we're focused on and clean. You know, it's all relative. But you could say the euro, you could say the pound, or you could say whatever. It's the weak U.S. dollar. Yeah, they bought euro against it. Yeah, they bought pound. They bought Australian dollar. It's all been bought versus the U.S. dollar, yes. Maybe there was a little more on the pound and a little less on the Australian dollar or whatever, right? So, yeah. Still holding. Again, why I say I'm not focused on the euro answering that, I'm focused on the U.S. dollar, is because that's the cause of these up moves, is the weak U.S. dollar. So is the U.S. dollar still weak, and are they still holding? Are they buying U.S. dollar? No. You know what I mean? So the euro would have to go off and do some crazy thing of its own. This is at the whim of the U.S. dollar right now. Whatever that does, it's going to be the dollar index in reverse. That's what's driving things, just to be specific. It's not necessarily euro strength. Euro could be flat compared to everything else, but it's going to move up against the dollar. You know what I mean? When they get out, we'll know it. It'll end with a bang. How do I, exactly what I just said. Yep. How do you identify smart money still holding? Exactly what I just said. They can't hide the volume, right? If they're getting out of long positions, there's a particular way in which they do it, which is into higher prices. 9 times out of 10, the high volume comes in at a high price. All of a sudden, it's changed. We're in distribution phase. They're selling off. So if you don't see that, they couldn't have gotten out. This creates volume, right? Especially such a big trend like this, a big move. It goes out with a bang. There's a lot. Makes sense. And again, that's background. If we go to the 1 hour chart and look at our high and low volume points, right? Do we have high volume? Nope. Obviously, no, there's buying, markup style buying, but is there high volume getting out? Nah, of course not. Can't hide that. Look at them getting in. Right? You're looking for this, ideally. We see this into higher prices today. There we go. Right? Time to look for this short. Can't hide it. And after that, not seeing them get out, we knew to buy yesterday, right? So on. Follow them. So there's an example. Does that help? That's what it is right now. Very simple. If they were getting out, it would create high volume, just like when they got in. And they also marked up here. There's a lot of positions to get out of. Can't hide the activity. Typically happens into up moves. So they're holding. So it's like once you answer the question, where is smart money positioned from? Number one. Number two, in what direction? And the third question is, are they holding or getting out? Once you know that, you know what you're doing. So yeah, this is me explaining stuff on very little sleep. I think I'm still coherent. I didn't have to do anything. I just couldn't sleep. Tired and can't sleep. I don't know why. Like my brain wouldn't shut off. It's been like that the last couple of days. And then in the evening, I hang out with my kid. She's 10. So I gotta get up. That's why the only reason I get out of bed. Bill, very welcome. But every now and then to be asked this stuff and explain this stuff obviously is good. Now I can point people to this video from Wednesday, October 26th. Watch the first few hours. I'll tell people if they go, how do you trade? What is this? Nice long explanation there. It's good. Now let's get a trade. But once you understand these things that I'm talking about and how smart money works, you can see why I'm looking at this chart going, like, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I need to get long. How do I get long as soon as possible? All right. That's what amateur traders are thinking right now. It's not even a thing I want to do at all. I actually passed on a long entry, right? Like I showed earlier. Because you know how they work. You know you're a step behind. The last thing you want to do is be a step behind. I bought yesterday. I closed where I closed. That's fine. I'm not, I could have had more. I'm not thinking about that. But I want to be more in lockstep. So it's such a late buy that nobody has my back up here. I become shark bait, Thank you much for your reply. Very welcome. It's my pleasure to talk with you. The name is Deepak Tiwari. I pronounced the names wrong. My apologies. Learn lots. Okay, good. Good. See, the longer we sit here, if we're going to go sideways, the more things are going to build up around it. Those that are chasing the long, right, more stops are going to build up. And if we get there, we understand that. And as far as selling, those that are selling here with stops here, right, the more buying and selling goes on, the more the stops build up around it. It's good to know where those are. And a lot of times price will go after that. Accomplish whatever they want to accomplish, being a step ahead. So only so many things to expect that would make sense. It could be a quick down move, high volume rejection, just very quick, surprises everybody. But yeah, US dollar driving everything. That's gone sideways. Volume is just sort of flat, nothing special going on. So there's nothing to do. Love from India. Same to you. From halfway around the world in New York. Amazing. Did I even check the news today? Let's see news. Ooh, rate statement. Okay, let me bring back this screen. TradingView can show you news events on your chart, but I don't like that clutter. Yeah, okay. So rate decision Canada. That's big. Okay. It's going to get pretty volatile. And home sales at the same time, US. So again, it could be like yesterday where we know what we're doing. It's just a matter of timing, and it may correlate with that. Could be that just like yesterday. Seems to be just waiting, right? They're not getting out. Waiting. Obviously, they think they can get a higher price. Otherwise, they would start getting out. It could be on news. It could be a climactic up move on news. It could drop down and be large strength off a news down move that gets bought into, right? So like I say, a reaction to the news move. But the timing of things, again, can do that. You might have to wait. Right now, I wouldn't want to be in a trade at all, right? This is, who knows, in the next 30 minutes. It doesn't want to try to break out. Doesn't want to have a retracement, right? It's just gone flat. The indicators are red. Maybe we should buy. Kidding. Yes. Maybe we don't have to wait till 10 New York time. Maybe it comes a little earlier, if not sooner. But you can see it's just kind of waiting to do its next move. Who knows? Once it does it, it'll tell us what's happening. We know what they're doing. We're up to this point, but what's next? Climactic getting out, pull back buy. See what they do or not do, but we need to wake up again. Gotta wait for that. So I'm here. See how things develop. Anything of interest? Volume picked up a little bit on some of them. Euro. That kind of came out of nowhere, just sitting in the range, and then we got some more activity. So looking at the result of that, basically here, this is the very, very first. If smart money wants to be very aggressive, they could hunt some stops right here. We see strength and we continue up. I'd rather get lower. We're just so high up. Let's see the more typical further retracement. Maybe like an ABC retracement here, going to the levels. But we'll see what they do here. It could be a really high up fake break sign of strength that continues. I really don't want to be buying this high though. Yeah, nothing crazy on the volume. A bit of buying off of that. Not a ton. So maybe we can actually get through that and go lower. I mean, they should be patient and buy lower, hopefully. So slow. Maybe I'll end it soon. I am so tired. But like I said, we know what we're looking for. Maybe we can move down now. See what happens on that. So slow. All right, maybe I'll end it and get in bed. Set some alerts. I can always pop in the Discord. But really, again, we know what we're looking for. Smart money is long against the U.S. dollar. They are holding those positions. We're still bullish. Looking for down moves and strength. Maybe they show up. Maybe they don't. They probably will. Fibs are nice. May have to readjust the fib if it made a new high. I got to update them. Previous resistance turn support. Where are the stops? Hopefully we get down there and see that strength. But yeah, I'm just too tired and it's too slow. But yeah, maybe I'll pop in the Discord when things start moving again. So make sure you're in there. Okay, very good. Well, educational today. I did something. All right, we'll see what happens. See you in the Discord, or else most likely I'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll see. Very welcome. All right, have a good one.